Alright folks, get ready for a wild ride with Sam, a cancer patient who's not letting her illness get her down. Outside New York City, Sam is staying at a hospice, but she's not letting that stop her from living life to the fullest. Sure, she's feeling a bit down in the dumps, but she's got her trusty cat Frodo by her side. During group therapy, Sam reads her poetry, but instead of sappy love poems, she's all about expressing how much she hates everything. But Ruben, the ever-optimistic care worker, refuses to let Sam's gloomy mood bring him down. He convinces her to join the other patients for a trip to the city to watch a puppet show. Sam agrees, but only if they can grab pizza afterward. After getting her medicine and putting a leash on Frodo, Sam hops on the bus with the group. As they cross the bridge, Sam spots some cool jets flying by. Little does she know, things are about to get a whole lot more exciting than a puppet show. At the theater, Sam's actually enjoying the play, but when it takes a sad turn, she relates to it a little too much and decides to bail. On her way to the store for some much-needed candy, she sees a bunch of police cars zooming by. Looks like the city's got some action going on. Sam goes to find Ruben, but he's on an important call that suddenly cuts out. He tells Sam they've got to head back because something's up in the city. Sam's not happy about missing out on pizza, and she reminds Ruben he's just her nurse. As they head back to the bus, Sam notices the other patients looking out the window and hears some weird noises. Curiously, she takes a look and is shocked to see meteors falling from the sky. Just then, alarms start blaring, and a meteor crashes near the bus, causing a massive explosion that knocks everyone down. With her ears ringing, Sam manages to stand up in the wrecked bus and stumbles outside, finding the area covered in a dust cloud. Wounded people are shuffling around, and explosions keep rocking the city. Suddenly, a terrifying roar echoes nearby, and a man gets dragged away by his feet. Panicking, Sam runs and finds a soldier who tells her to take cover, but he suddenly gets snatched too. Sam hides behind a car with another person and watches in horror as a monster appears, and it turns out the meteor shower was actually an alien invasion. A brave guy distracts the monster, giving Sam a chance to escape, but just as she does, an ambulance gets attacked by the creature, causing another explosion knocks Sam out when she hits a wall. When Sam wakes up, she's inside a building, and Henri, another survivor, tells her to be quiet. Sam realizes she's in the theater with a bunch of other survivors tending to wounds. She's reunited with Ruben and Frodo, and they all breathe a sigh of relief. Just then, a helicopter flies overhead, telling everyone to stay hidden and quiet. Turns out the monsters are attracted to noise, and they start chasing the helicopter, shaking the whole building. Frodo gets scared and bolts, so Sam goes after him and finds a bunch of dead bodies. As she steps on some debris, it makes a loud crunch, and she freezes in fear just as Ruben catches up to her. They notice an alien strolling outside and decide to wait for it to leave. But, Sam accidentally brushes against a bell on a costume, making it ring like a dinner bell for monsters. In a panic, she rushes to grab her cat Frodo, and hides behind some furniture just as the alien bursts through the door, searching for potential snacks while kicking around the bodies. It even gets super close to Ruben's face but doesn't spot him, which make them realize that the aliens are blind. Just then, a helicopter flies by, and the alien bolts out of the building to follow it. The ground shakes, and another explosion rocks the place, but Sam and Ruben stay put until the chaos settles down. Once it's safe, Sam washes her face and removes her now depleted medicine patch. Next, she checks on a woman using a radio to pick up calls from the authorities. It turns out a shelter is set up, and they want everyone to wait for instructions. They also advise staying away from bridges. Stickers on a globe show that aliens are attacking all over the world. And suddenly, the survivors hear a series of bombs going off and rush to the roof, and they're horrified to see the military blowing up the bridges to keep the aliens from escaping since, apparently, they can't swim. The group watches as the bridges collapse one by one, and one survivor starts freaking out, shouting that they're trapped and going to die. Henri quickly covers the guy's mouth to shush him, but the guy fights back, leading to a struggle that ends with Henri accidentally knocking the man's head against the wall, making him silent forever. Later, while they wait for rescue, Sam scribbles a note to Ruben saying she's going to Harlem for pizza. Ruben tries to convince her to stay, but their chat is interrupted when the power goes out, and the generator kicks on, making a racket. Desperate to silence it, Ruben dashes outside and quickly turns it off. But as he steps away, his clothes get stuck and rip, making even more noise. Just then, an alien jumps out and attacks Ruben, taking him out while Sam covers her mouth to keep from screaming. As soon as the sun rises, Sam grabs Frodo and finally heads out for Harlem. On her way, she can't help but notice the destruction all around her, the blood and flames in every corner paint a grim picture of what's happened. After grabbing some supplies from a store, Sam heads to sit by a fountain. The soothing sound of water will help cover any noise she makes. She carefully opens a can and feeds her trusty cat, Frodo, before spotting two kids hiding under the fountain. Feeling generous, she offers them some snacks too. Just then, helicopters zoom by, announcing that boat evacuations have started at the South Seaport. The noise attracts the creatures, who start climbing buildings like they're on a twisted version of American Ninja Warrior. Sam quickly drags the kids into a tunnel, and they huddle together, watching the aliens run through the streets, causing buildings to shake and debris to fall. When it looks clear, Sam cautiously tries to peek out, only to find an alien blocking her way with a chunk of building. As she runs back, the alien stops to check the area, but luckily, it doesn't hear anything and wanders off. The group emerges and sees other survivors coming out of their hiding spots to head to the port. Sam tells the kids to follow the crowd, but then she makes a bold move and starts going in the opposite direction. The sound of all those footsteps attracts the aliens, who soon start jumping down from the buildings to attack. Panic breaks out as the creatures throw a car like it's a toy and cause yet another explosion, knocking Sam down, while Frodo escapes from her arms and runs away in sheer terror. Sam wants to chase after him, but the panicking crowd keeps pushing her down as they try to flee. So, she curls up to protect her head from being stomped on. All around her, people are falling and getting hurt. When she finally sees an opening, Sam crawls to hide under a car. Just then, a man follows her and grabs her legs, begging for help, but he's suddenly dragged away by an alien. Sam's foot gets stuck under the car, but after some struggle, she manages to pull it out and crawls out to keep searching for Frodo. Eventually, her body is too tired and sore to keep going, so she collapses in an alley. Meanwhile, Frodo is off chasing a rat and stops to drink from a flooded subway station. At that moment, Eric pops up from the water in a panic, but when he sees Frodo, he calms down and decides to follow the cat until they find Sam. Sam tells Eric to follow the crowd, but she starts moving away from it with Frodo. When it starts raining, they introduce themselves, and Sam tells him about the boats. Eric admits he's terrified of dying alone, so Sam lets him tag along. By nighttime, they finally make it to Sam's apartment. Since she's missing her key, Eric kicks the door open just as thunder crashes, providing the perfect cover noise while Sam searches for her medication. Eric explains that his parents are in England and he came to study law, so he's all alone. In return, Sam shares her plan to get pizza, and Eric promises to help her finding her a pizza, no matter how much she protests. He also finds a picture of Sam's dad, who used to play the piano, and her notebook full of poetry. Reading her writing makes Eric realize that Sam is a terminal patient who doesn't have much time left. She's staying behind to fulfill her last wish. When thunder strikes again, Sam screams in frustration, and Eric joins her. The next morning, Sam wakes up to see a creature at the window. But wait, it's just a dream. She notices Eric is still snoozing away, so she and Frodo decide to sneak out like ninjas on a secret mission. A little while later, Sam stops at a bookshop that looks like it's been through a paper shredder. Eric catches up, waving her poetry notebook like a flag, and he says, "Hey, you dropped this." And Sam agrees to let him tag along. But just as she stands up, she accidentally drops some books, making a noise louder than a drum solo. They immediately hear the aliens approaching, probably thinking it's dinner time. So, they take off running faster than you can say, alien invasion, and try to hide inside a nearby building. Unfortunately, the door gets stuck on a briefcase, because of course it does, and Eric has to push extra hard to open it. This causes even more noise, and guess what? An alien lands right behind them. The duo bolts through the corridors as the creature chases after them, shrieking to call its buddies. The aliens' friends start jumping through the glass ceiling like it's a monster party. After what feels like running a marathon, Sam, Eric, and Frodo finally manage to escape the building and hit the streets again. In a moment of brilliance, or maybe desperation, Eric breaks a car window to trigger the alarm. The aliens' attention shifts to the vehicle, giving the group a chance to slip away into the subway tunnel. Down there, they tiptoe around like they're in a creepy dance class, trying to avoid stepping on bodies and dodging pools of blood. Suddenly, they spot an alien waiting on the escalator, probably wondering why it's not moving. Thankfully, it doesn't hear them, so they sneak away and end up in the flooded tracks. As they wade through the water, they see another alien peeking out from a hole in the ceiling, but it doesn't react yet. Things take a turn when they reach an area where the water is too high. Eric starts to panic, remembering his near-drowning experience. Seeing the aliens approach, Sam quickly covers Eric's mouth and tries to comfort him. But sadly, an alien finds them anyway, and they start moving as fast as they can while keeping Frodo afloat. With the creature hot on their heels, they have no choice but to shove Frodo into Sam's bag, and dive underwater to escape. The alien tries to follow them, but surprise, it can't swim and quickly drowns. Eventually, the group resurfaces, and Frodo bolts away, probably looking for a drier spot. Eric helps Sam get out of the water, and they climb up through a hole in the ceiling, only to find themselves in a church. And just like that, Sam passes out again. After dreaming about her dad praying for her, Sam wakes up and immediately throws up. Eric notices she's in great pain and asks what kind of medication she needs. Like a hero on a mission, he heads to the pharmacy. While searching for the medicine, he gets startled by a noise, but it turns out to be Frodo. Once Eric has what he needs, he starts making his way back. But wait, Frodo decides to go on an adventure of his own and wanders into a construction site. Eric has no choice but to follow him. Sneaking around like a ninja, he finds the place on fire, but Frodo is just chilling on a metal beam. Suddenly, an alien shows up, and Eric quickly hides. But Frodo, he's just lounging there like he owns the place. Eric starts climbing up, trying to stay calm while hearing the alien screech and call its creepy friends to join the feast. When Eric moves to reach Frodo, an alien gets way too close for comfort. He freezes, hoping the beast doesn't hear him. Moments later, Eric and Frodo safely return to the church and give Sam her medicine. As she recovers, Sam shares a sweet memory of her childhood, telling Eric how she loved watching her dad play piano at a jazz club. After the show, he would always take her to Patsy's for pizza. But sadly, he died of cancer, just like she's facing now. Eric finally understands her last wish and promises to get her pizza. The next morning, they leave the church and head straight to Patsy's Pizzeria, only to discover it's been burned down. Devastated, Sam cries and falls to her knees, causing Eric rushes to comfort her and asks about the jazz club. A few minutes later, they make it to the club, and Sam gets to recharge her iPod while seeing her father's piano again. While Sam enjoys her memories, Eric steps out to find a pizzeria. When he returns, he surprises Sam with a pizza box labeled Patsy's. They take a break to eat and drink, and even Frodo steals a slice, because who can resist pizza? Eric also finds a deck of cards and puts on a little magic show, impressing Sam with a card trick game. Afterward, they head to the balcony and spot the boat about to leave the port, with aliens gathering around the shore like they're having a monster party. Sam gifts Eric her jacket, and then they finally make their move. When they reach the port, they sneak around quietly, trying not to be heard, and hide behind a burned car to watch the creatures from a distance. Eric feels another panic attack coming on, but Sam helps him stay calm. Then Sam hands him Frodo and tells him to run when he'll see a opening. Then, Sam starts running around, hitting cars to activate the alarms, drawing the alien's attention. But suddenly, she's feeling weaker by the second, and her movements getting slowing down. On the boat, Henri sees the chaos and asks the authorities to wait for another survivor. As soon as he sees an opening, Eric runs with Frodo, but they trip over some trash, making noise and attracting the aliens. Just as the monsters are about to catch him on the pier, Eric jumps and falls into the water, where the aliens can't follow. After sharing one last look with Sam, Eric swims toward the boat, and the survivors quickly help him and Frodo aboard. Finally able to rest, Eric discovers that Sam left a note in her jacket, asking him to take care of Frodo and thanking him for everything. Back on land, a tearful Sam stares at an old picture of her family. As she listens to Nina Simone's Feeling Good on her iPod, she stands in the middle of the street and disconnects her earphones. Suddenly, the music attracts an alien behind her, and that's how the story ends. This movie's name is A Quiet Day, which has a 6.7 rating on IMDb. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you truly enjoyed it, please hit the like, and for more, hit the subscribe. I'm sure we'll meet again in the next video.